the concluding paragraph. In conclusion, while people may vary in their opinions, I think that children stand a better chance to succeed both in school and later in life if they are encouraged to compete against each other. So what I've got here is just one sentence. We start with the right linking device in conclusion to conclude. We've got, while many people vary in their opinions, this is referring to the different opinions that are in the essay. You don't need to state them again, you just need to refer to them. And then we restate our own opinion. So I think children should be encouraged to compete. I've only got one sentence in this conclusion. It's already long enough. It's 35 words. There is no need to add another sentence on top. You can choose when you write your conclusion to have one sentence or two sentences, but you don't need to. You can just have one if you want. And the key point is that writing task 2 is limited with time. As long as you restate your opinion and refer to other people's opinions, it's enough for a band score 9. So there's no reason to write a longer conclusion. And your conclusion should be shorter than your introduction. And usually 35 to 40 words is fine. So that is now the full essay. Let's have a look now at what happens when we don't agree with one of the sides. So when we have a balanced opinion of our own, let's have a look at how we need to change the discussion essay to accommodate a different opinion. So now we're going to look at the discussion essay when we do not agree with either side 100%. But we're going to actually give our own opinion, a more balanced view, a specific opinion. And of course it means that the structure of the essay is going to have to change. Last time we had a body paragraph which included one side with our opinion agreeing with that side. But of course this time we can't do that. So what we've got is an introductory paragraph, and we can use the same background statement as the previous essay. We've got the thesis statement, which must make our opinion very clear to the examiner. We've got a body paragraph with one side, a second body paragraph with the other side, and then we have a third body paragraph which will contain our opinion. And then the conclusion will be a summary of these points. Now, what I want to point out here is you can see we've got 3 body paragraphs instead of 2. It does not mean our essay will be longer. What it means is that we will shorten the body paragraph slightly and we will have 3 instead. Now, if you're aiming for band score 7, 8, 9, you can have either 2 body paragraphs or 3 body paragraphs. Even with 3 body paragraphs, there is still enough word count to be able to develop the idea for a high score. If, however, you tried to have 4 body paragraphs, there's not enough time or words to develop it sufficiently for a high score. So you can have 2 or 3. So we use 2 body paragraphs when we agree with one side. We use 3 body paragraphs when we have our own opinion. Right, so the background statement is the same. Let's have a look then at the thesis statement when we have a balanced view. Here we've got 2 thesis statements for the second essay for having a balanced view with a discussion essay. Now, the first one. In my opinion, I believe that competing and cooperation is important for children. This is a very unclear opinion because you're agreeing with both sides, and considering that they're opposite sides, it means you don't have a clear position. This is very difficult for many students to understand, the difference between having a clear opinion and having a position. But IELTS are very clear in what they're looking for. The examiner doesn't want you to sit on the fence. The examiner wants a clear position. Is it cooperation or competition? Or in what situation do you agree with one? Or what situation do you agree with the other? You need to be more specific. You need to be clearer to have a strong opinion for your essay. So if we have a look at the second topic sentence, in my opinion, deciding whether to focus on competition or team working skills should depend on the age of the child. Now we have a clearer opinion. And what it means is that whether we're going to choose cooperation or competition depends on how old the child is. For example, a younger child will need to learn to cooperate and work in a team, whereas an older child is ready to learn competition. So we're not agreeing with both sides 100%. We're agreeing with cooperating in one situation, young children, and we're agreeing with competition in a different situation for older children. So this is about explaining your opinion much more clearly. So for IELTS, this is not a clear opinion, but this one is. Now, if you are still unclear on that, then this is explained in more detail in my opinion essay lesson. Now, for the moment, this is the thesis statement that we will be using, and this is how we're going to explain our opinion, which is using the age of the child. So let's have a look now at the full introduction together. And here it is. Although it is sometimes thought that schools ought to teach children to compete, other people believe that the focus should be on cooperation. In my opinion, deciding whether to focus on competition or team working skills should depend on the age of the child. We've got the background statement, which introduces the essay question. We've got the thesis statement, which gives a very clear answer and shows that we're not agreeing with both sides. We're explaining our opinion in terms of age of the child. Again, if this is difficult for you, then please just choose the one-sided approach. The most important thing is that you do have an opinion which is accepted by IELTS. You do want to get your band score. So don't take chances. 44 words, that's the length of this introduction, so that is perfectly acceptable. There is no irrelevant or extra information. So let's have a look now at the body paragraphs. Body paragraph 1 is almost the same. We've got the same information, except we've taken out one sentence, we've taken out the example. You don't have to give examples if you don't want to. I've also made an alteration here, and I've used according to some. That's to give you some variety. And I've also put in here, furthermore, it is commonly believed that. So if you want to repeat in the body paragraph that this is about other people's opinions, you can. Let's have a look at body paragraph number 2. The next body paragraph you can see is almost the same. We've got the same topic sentence. I've changed this so that we avoid using the word we, just to show you the other way to write that sentence. Don't forget, in the first essay we said as people, we, and that's the only situation you can use it. But this is the alternative. And what I've done here is, again, I've just removed one of the sentences. I've removed the final sentence. So now let's have a look at the third body paragraph, and this is where we have to present our opinion. The opinion body paragraph. Finally, in my view, both skills are indispensable for a child's future, but the focus should depend on the child's age. While young children need to learn how to communicate effectively and learn to work with others, older children, who are starting to take exams and be assessed on their academic performance, would benefit more from competition. Schools therefore need to be flexible as to when to focus on one over the other. So let's look at this paragraph. The first sentence, the topic sentence, is our view, and that is that we're not agreeing fully with competition or cooperation. What we are saying is we need to look at a child's age to make a decision. So that is very clear. We start with finally because it is the last body paragraph. It's our final main point. We can put in my view because in the introduction you wrote in my opinion. When we come to the next sentence, we've got while, and we've got the situation for young children that they need to learn to communicate, or older children who need to learn to compete for better results. And then we've got a final sentence in the body paragraph, which is about schools needing to be flexible. That means that they're not really choosing competition or cooperation. They need to be flexible when to have one and when to have the other, depending on the child's needs. Now that is an opinion that's very clear, it's divided, it's explained. So that is something the examiner will be very happy with. Now let's look at the conclusion. The final concluding paragraph. In conclusion, despite people having different views, I believe it would be better for young children to develop team working skills and older children to become more competitive. So it's a short conclusion. We've got the right linking device. We refer to the different views, but we don't need to state them. We just refer to them. And then we give our opinion again. Now that is a short conclusion. It's under 30 words. It's fine. You don't need to have a long conclusion. But because it's under 30 words, it is possible to add another concluding sentence if you want. A final comment. Now I've got two final comments here. This is the type of comment that many students make. Learning both skills is essential for a child's future. Now, yes, that is what we believe, but not fully, because our opinion is actually about it depending on the age of the child. So this type of final comment isn't following your opinion fully. It's saying that you agree with both sides, which is not what we're doing. So what we need to write is, learning both skills is essential at the appropriate age for a child's future. And adding this comment, the appropriate age, means that our opinion is maintained from start to finish of the essay, and that is required for a high band score. So that's the conclusion, and that's the end of both essays. I've also included a model essay for a discussion essay that has no opinion. Now, I've never known IELTS to ask for that, but IELTS do like to challenge students. IELTS do sometimes change the way they write instructions, so I've included it, and you can take a look and see how the introduction and the conclusion is different when there's no opinion at all. So now it's time to have a look at some tips for how to write the discussion essay. So I will summarise all the steps that you need to take, and after that we'll look at some vocabulary that we've used in these essays.